Hello and welcome to this weather update. Yeah, we haven't done a weather update in a while. There are some thunderstorms around, so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about we're going into a very anomalous period of weather for May coming up within the next week, where we may not see the sun for days on end. We're going to talk about that, but right now we're looking at the cold front coming through. We've had sunshine this week, but we haven't really had any clear days, which is the first thing I actually want to talk about in this video, is about the clear days. We've had very few clear days this month, hardly any. And how do I define a clear day? I define a clear day by a day with a nice blue sky. There could be some clouds, they're puffy clouds, but a clear day, that's how I define it. Unfortunately, we haven't had any of those. We had haze around, and things like that. So not thrilled with that at all. It seemed like when I was younger, there were just more clear days. This is all part of the climate change we're going through. So here's the radar right now, and the radar is showing a line of thunderstorms that seems to be approaching the area. So I don't know if these are going to hold together or not. Because it's much cooler over Long Island, so I'm thinking once they hit the marine air, they'll probably weaken. But you never know; they could still hang on, and they could still be strong, I guess. But I really don't expect anything too significant for Long Island. I'll be surprised if these hold together. That is for sure. So let's look at the problems here that we have with the forecast. The problem being a building Atlantic ridge. The dreaded ridge is coming back, folks. It brought us that heat, a couple of weeks ago. It was last week. And it's going to try to build back. You see there's some really nice air trying to come down from Canada, but we're not really going to get into that. We just get a piece of that tomorrow because this is the GFS. We'll look at this, and you'll see that high just goes by to the north. And we don't even know if tomorrow is going to be clear because the cirrus could start streaming in during the day ahead of this next system. So again, just very few clear days. We're going to talk about that, but I want to get through with the forecast first. So you can see that we're going to be playing with a stall front once the weekend comes. We're going to be playing with the stall front for a long time, really until further notice. All throughout next week, you can see that ridge sitting there, and the front is just going to be lying right over us. We can't get into any cool air. That ridge, this is a symptom of climate change. This ridge constantly being here, it's not normal, especially in May. You usually start seeing this more toward August. To have this in May is really unusual, and you can see we're going right through the period. That ridge isn't going anywhere, and that almost looks like a tropical system. That looks like a tropical system right there. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past, because again, we're screwing with the climate. We have warmer than normal ocean temperatures in a lot of areas, due to the all the excess greenhouse gases in the air emitted by all the SUVs that people have to drive nowadays. So that is the GFS. We can look at some of the other models. You can look at the Canadian as well, but it's showing the same thing pretty much. So one more decent day tomorrow, and I say decent, it probably won't be clear. And we look at the sky cover forecast, you'll see that. You see again that dreaded ridge there, and we're going to be playing with the stalled front. This is not normal for the weather to get stuck like this. It's not normal. It's not something that I remember happening so often when I was younger. May used to be a fairly dry month with quite a few sunny, nice days, but now, it's not like that anymore. So it's a wet month. It's a stormy month because of this blasted ridge here. So let's see what it's going to do to our temperatures. We'll see what the temperature anomaly is. So this is the temperature anomaly forecast, and you'll see that the cool air is trying to build in. But what's going to eventually happen is after a fairly cool weekend, you can see that front right in the vicinity there, with the warm front just to the south. That warm front's going to start moving northward, and then we get into the warm air by the middle of next week. But it will be cloudy, humid, and wet. So it will not be a nice sunny day. You can see this just continues with that stupid ridge there. That's the Canadian. Now we'll go and look at the GFS. Alright, so here we go again. We look at the GFS temperature anomaly. And you'll see the front right. You can see where the cool air is right here. Now they're having a beautiful. I wish I could just take a trip up to southeastern Canada, because I'm sure they're going to be having nice weather. But for us, you can see where the front is. You can see the difference, right? The front actually barely makes it through tomorrow. It'll still be above average tomorrow too by a little bit. It'll be in the mid 70s. and then it cools down for the weekend. Again, you can see where that front is literally right over us, literally right over us there. And then it moves up. So again, we're going to be playing with the stall front until further notice. Stall front syndrome. You know how I feel about stall front syndrome. I absolutely despise seeing it. It's very annoying, and it's very, very alarming to see once again. People should be upset about it, but they don't really want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about this because they don't want people to know. They want to keep those SUV sales strong, you know. They want to keep them strong. They want to keep those SUV sales going, so we keep pumping more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. You know, SUVs can emit as much as 5 times as much carbon dioxide as a car, but they don't really want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. Again, they want you to keep driving the SUVs, especially because the rich people love them, and big oil loves them. So let's see what it's going to look like with clouds. So you can see, I can actually rewind this. It'll actually show the satellite image for the last couple of days. And we did have some, I think Monday was probably the sunniest of all the days. But the problem is that we had a lot of clouds around and haze around too. I don't ever remember so much haze. You know, we had a, you know, we're going to talk about this actually. But let's stick with the forecast right now. So, here we go. So again, you can see you're stuck in the clouds for the most part because we couldn't really get in. And then tomorrow, what's going to happen is this front's going to try to build in. We may have a little clear in the morning, but then this upper level cirro crap will probably come streaming in for the rest of the day, and you have a sky full of contrails and shit. So it's going to suck. And then here, look at the forecast. Just nothing but clouds. It may not be one clear day. Maybe if we go up to Maine, maybe you'll have a clear day up there. You'll have to go up there. Other than that, we are stuck in the clouds. We're stuck in this stall front syndrome, and it honestly is going to suck big time. I hate stall front syndrome. I go nuts. I go stir crazy because the weather stinks so bad outside every day with the rain, the humidity, and the moisture and the clouds. And you know, I mean, we don't live in Seattle. We're not supposed to have this kind of climate. It's supposed to be May is supposed to be a relatively sunny month here, but after tomorrow, we may not see the sun for an entire week. So the last really clear day we had was back on April 23rd when I took this picture, and you can see the nice blue sky and these beautiful big pitch pines by Wildwood Lake in, I guess you can call it Northampton. That was the last really nice clear day we had. The next day was May 1st, and you could see it was clear, but it was hazy. You see all that haze in the air? You see how the haze just kind of washes everything out? You know, I don't ever remember so much haze around years ago, and I don't pollution or whatever the heck it is. And then this week, this was the best day we had, and you can see it was also hazy. I think this was Tuesday. This was by Cantiague Park in Hicksville. So we're going to actually look at the amount of clear days we've had and see how few and far between they really are. So as far as April, we actually got lucky. We had 4 clear days that month. And you can see there's the first, but I have that shaded in a different color because while it was sunny, it wasn't really a clear day. So we had 4 days in April for the whole month. So you can see how rare it is to get, I mean, clear weather. I'm going to have a poll in this video. Doesn't it seem like we have less days now with nice blue skies than years ago? Let me know in the poll. So for March, again, we had 4 clear days. We're lucky actually enough to have 4 clear days. Including on my birthday, March 31st. So that was good. At least I had a nice clear day on my birthday, and I went to the Pine Barrens, and that was really nice. So, you know, March, we had a number. February, on the other hand, February kind of stunk. You know, February, we really only had 2 clear days for that month, and a hazy day on the 18th. So on the 5th and the 27th, we had some clear days. But that was it for the entire month of February, and then on the 18th. So now we go and we look at this month, May. And May, so far, we only had that one kind of hazyish day on the 1st there. But we haven't had any clear days, any days with nice skies at all this month so far. You know, I remember in May, we used to always have clear, sunny blue sky days in May when I was growing up, but now it just doesn't seem like it's happening, and this is all because of climate change. So in the last part of this video, I'll talk about the sea surface anomaly and how it affects this. You can see a lot of warm water in the Atlantic Ocean, and this is what causes these stall front syndromes to happen. This is a constant problem now, because a lot of the warmth that we're putting into the air, you know, a lot of the extra carbon dioxide due to all the SUVs and fuel guzzling vehicles out there, as well as our just generally wasteful lifestyle is causing a lot of the oceans to absorb more heat, and that means more storms. That means more stall front syndromes, and this is very bad for us. So we got to do something to cool the planet down. What we're seeing in the climate is highly abnormal. Everybody should be alarmed, but I know the news doesn't talk about it. But it really is an emergency that we're still ongoing on what needs to be done now. Laura Curran says we got to ban plastic bags. No, Laura. What we got to do is get these damn SUVs off the road. Have an SUV tax, all right? Just make it obscenely expensive to own an SUV, all right? And then people stop buying them. That's number one. Number two, we've got to start, more renewable energy sources. That means less oil and gas and more sun, solar panels and wind energy, and I'm sure there are even other sources that we can use, all right, to generate electric. We've got to stop putting so much carbon dioxide into the air, because what's going on and what is happening in the Arctic is that now methane is getting out into the atmosphere, and methane is a much more potent greenhouse gas. It is the one situation where I'll support the use of methane natural gas, because that's what natural gas is basically methane. It's better to burn it than to let it get into the atmosphere. So I guess we can continue to use that methane as energy, because if we're not, then what's going to happen is it's actually going to be worse. But in the meantime, we've got to lower our I wonder what Laura Curran drives. Oh, does she really drive a Prius, or she probably drives some kind of big SUV? I bet. So we got to get these SUVs off the road. I'm telling you, when the SUVs started becoming popular in the late '90s, that's when this stuff started. It has to do with the SUVs. We got to get them off the road, and we got to just make them illegal, as far as I'm concerned, because they consume a lot more fuel. They put out a lot more greenhouse gases than a car does. I mean, there's no reason why anyone should be driving a vehicle that's getting less than 30 miles per gallon. All right, there's no reason for that. All right, that's the very first step we need to do, but unfortunately we're moving backwards. I just heard that Ford is not even making cars anymore, so they just want to focus on pickup trucks and SUVs. Big mistake. We are not learning our lesson here. Unfortunately, with the current administration in the White House, Trump is very bad for the environment. I'll just put it that way. All right. But these Democrats are no better, like Laura Curran, who want to put these plastic bags. No, Laura, enough with the damn what you got to do, first of all, get the SUVs off the road, and also fix the damn bus system so people take it instead of driving. And then you have less cars on the road putting out carbon dioxide. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But, she's just fake. There are very few people out there that truly care about the environment. I'm one of them. Plastic bags are bad. They don't biodegrade. All right, I'm not saying that. They are bad. But why don't you just ban the plastic bags instead of taxing them just to make money? All right, so you just have people use paper. Once they said paper bags are in the environment, now paper can be easily recycled. It biodegrades, so it doesn't stay in the environment. So I don't see what's wrong with just maybe getting rid of the plastic bags and keeping the paper bags. So that's it. I know you've probably heard enough of me talking and looking at this map, but this map shows pretty much what's going on. Our oceans are getting warmer, and this has very bad consequences for us, especially when it comes to tropical storms. Could we be getting hit by a Sandy every year? Sandy is not even the big one, folks. You can get Category 3. It's happened in the past. I'm surprised it hasn't happened now. I think we're overdue for something like the Hurricane 38. So that would be devastating. But it's all very possible, especially now, due to climate change. And warmer oceans, more water vapor in the air. Water vapor is also a greenhouse gas. More clouds. This is why we're not seeing many clear days anymore. At least that's my theory behind it. Anyway, thank you for watching.